The amount of restraint I've shown over the last week resisting the near insatiable appetite to insult Nvidia for DLSS 5 has been nothing shy of, like, saint-worthy, I would argue. Like, I have been the Zen master when it comes to this topic because I wanted to wait until the dust fully settled because I just knew, I smelt that stink in the air and I knew Krampus was right around the corner delivering some misery. I had a feeling it was only going to continue to snowball into this avalanche of embarrassment for Nvidia, specifically their CEO Jensen. I knew that he would continue to make a fool of himself, and boy howdy, has he ever. So I'm going to show you some clips that I've recorded throughout the week on it, so you can watch it all unfold here in real time. But to give you where we're at right now, after the initial backlash, Jensen went out there and said, "Everyone's wrong, you guys just don't see the vision. It's not just a slop filter. It's called neural rendering, you swine. It's the most sophisticated form of art this planet is capable of producing, the apotheosis of video games, where we have AI come in and guess on what it should look like. Yeehaw." Basically, his whole response was, "You guys just don't get it." He came in with the Neil deGrasse Tyson, actually, and then everyone collectively rolled their eyes. This is the same song and dance we're seeing from every industry ever as they scramble to find usage for AI that they've dumped endless billions into, and no one really wants it, except for, like, a pocket on Twitter that anytime AI gets mentioned, they open their mouth to just suck as much cock that they can from anything AI adjacent. But most people are like, okay, this is a feature I'll never turn on, and this was a pretty dog shit response from the CEO on why it's even here in the first place. And then today, it was revealed, thanks to a YouTuber having further correspondence with Nvidia, that Jensen might have told a big old fib. Jensen might be a liar, plants for hire when it comes to the topic of DLSS 5, and based on his further insight here, it's looking like everyone else was right with their theories on what DLSS 5 is doing, which is basically boiling it down to being a fucking Snapchat filter you can slap onto your games, where AI guesses and it just makes like a little fucking filter for everything. I highly recommend you watch Daniel Owen's full coverage of this. It is very fascinating because it basically just wipes its whole ass with everything Jensen was saying about it. So it feels like that was a desperate lie on his end based on new information here. And it really does seem like it's just a fucking Instagram filter that they slap on your games to look like fucking YouTube AI generated shorts. Cool. Very awesome. All right, now anyway, let me show you some of the older clips that I was recording throughout the week. That's kind of like the, current timeline. That's where we're at. Now let me show you like the lore and how we got here. Zoinks. Nvidia just made a new announcement here for an upcoming feature, and I really don't think that it's gone over as well as they had hoped it would. It has been a unifying moment, really, that brought everyone together under the same banner of disgust. Pretty much everyone's giving this big thumbs down, boos. It was this showcase right here, announcing Nvidia DLSS 5, an AI-powered breakthrough in visual fidelity for games, coming this fall. DLSS 5 infuses pixels with photorealistic lighting and materials, bridging the gap between rendering and reality. Oh yeah, it's hitting all those glorious buzzwords you love to see. It's not just rendering, it's considering all the endless possibilities, M-dash, gawk gawk on cock cock. Like, it's just, even the announcement feels like it was AI powered. The whole thing is just really uninteresting to the vast majority of people, and the showcase for the power of the tech is laughable. Actually laughable. Nvidia, more like Activia, the way they just took a shit here with this announcement. Gee willikers. Oh my heavens to Betsy. My eyes have been blessed. After seeing the glory of DLS5 in action, I can't even stomach the idea of looking at Resident Evil Requiem with its old graphics out of the box. Ugh. At long last, Resident Evil has been saved thanks to the power of Nvidia's DLSS 5 slapping a Snapchat filter on the game. I don't think it enhances the visuals at all. This isn't an improvement. It just makes it look like less of a game and more of a YouTube AI short. That's it. It just has that same glossy, soulless, wacky fucking feel to it. So now it doesn't even really look like a game anymore. It just looks off. This is the same DNA of those goobers that always go online saying like, don't worry, I fixed Breaking Bad. I ran it through Gen AI to improve its visuals, and it like handsome squidrifies everything. Like in their first example here, Grace actually looks like a different character with DLSS 5 on. It looks like it really messes with the model's face here, even though I'm pretty sure it's just an AI filter. It takes some liberties there, and it's not just Grace, but I think that one's a pretty clear example. It looks like a different character from the screenshots we see of it there. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's that same, like, I hate this mentality of, like, alright, here's what the artists made, here's what they developed, but we know better at Nvidia. Let me show you what AI thinks this should look like. The real vision. This is probably what they intended, which does nothing for me. It doesn't enhance the visuals, at least to my taste, so it's definitely something that I'm going to keep off. Now, of course, this is a feature that you can toggle on or off at your heart's content, so you're not forced to have DLSS 5 on, but I imagine a lot of people will elect to because there's plenty of people out there that just like to have their eyes glaze over and just clap it photorealism AI. So this is going to be right in line with something I'm sure they're very happy about. Even though I also don't think this actually looks photorealistic in a game. It looks like when you ask Grok, hey, make this image ultra realistic, and it just makes that shit look jarring. This one I think is the perfect example of how trivial the improvements are with DLS 5. All it did was bump up the saturation on this character's clothing and face, where their face almost looks blown out, like cel-shaded even, almost like a Borderlands character, and then added a few additional wrinkles. Cool, I guess. What an amazing feature. I just think it's so obviously off, too. Like, even if you never told me that this was some kind of, like, AI feature or something, or filter, whatever, and you put this Hogwarts image of that character side by side with the DLSS 5 enhanced turbo version of it, I would still gravitate towards the actual video game graphics looking one as opposed to the one that looks like a goddamn Thomas Kincaid painting where it's all like glossy and off. Like it doesn't even really look like gaming graphics in the first place. It does just look like standard AI slop shorts. Ugh, this section was a double whammy of sin. Not only does the AI filter here look like shit, but it also had to remind me of Starfield's existence. Ugh! And somehow it does the unthinkable and makes Starfield look worse, like the characters in Starfield look worse. Now they just look plastic, as opposed to like lifeless husks in the actual Starfield game. With DLSS 5 engaged, it looks like little plastic, almost like porcelain creatures. And especially like that one where they're carrying the boxes, that looks like you're watching Spy Kids 3D without your 3D glasses on. It's just so weird looking. Like, I don't think it's an improvement visually. But all that being said, make sure all of you at home activate DLSS 5 on this video so you can watch me polymorph into Keanu Reeves thanks to the power of AI. Now, Digital Foundry also just posted a video doing a deeper dive here into DLSS 5.
And yet we're still seeing transformative changes here, particularly in terms of character rendering, which is an area where Starfield received quite a lot of criticism.
And surely this would help with that. Look at how much better that looks.
Here, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Oh my
I found this
god.
very interesting. So we saw spilling out over the scene in a much more realistic manner where you're getting those contact shadows. And just
It's horrifying.
remarkably, in
Oh, thank God.
presentation, even they
Thank you
pointed
for
out
applying
like
the
some
slop
of the
filter. Oh,
character
now I
models
can
maybe
enjoy
are a
this.
little bit on the softer side, but they still look
Like garlic
a
to a
lot
vampire. Keep
better
DLS5
when
on.
we put DLSS
Ooh.
5
Ah,
on.
thank
I
heavens.
mean, they look a little
Much
bit
better.
uncanny, I would say, but definitely the overall portrayal of those characters is much more sophisticated.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess to some people out there that are addicted to AI slop, this would be great. But I mean, if you fall into that camp, I think you should just go voluntarily institutionalize yourself somewhere, get some professional help, because I think that's fucking terrible. There's a couple things they show in the Digital Foundry video where like I can almost see someone being like, "Oh, that's super cool." When it comes to like environmental lighting in some of the games they showed, because there are times where they use the DLSS 5 showing like some environments where it like cleans up some of the lighting, but also in doing so, it gets rid of certain things like shadows. It doesn't really like a lot of shadows in some of these places. So then it just feels very sterile, and then it also then stops looking like a game and once again falls into looking just AI generated. So I don't like that either, but I have seen a lot of people really excited about it, which I mean, I'm not your fucking dad. If you want to activate DLSS 5, by all means, all power to you. I just think it looks not great. It seems like a useless feature. It feels like a useless use of resources. All right, big news today. There's quite a few reports of game companies out there that also aren't excited about DLSS 5, such as Capcom here, that was reportedly in the dark about it, and based on reports, pretty anti-AI when it comes to practices like this. A lot of companies have actually come forward based on information out there now, saying that this isn't something they signed off on and isn't something that they like, which is unfortunately a big blow to everyone that was coping and doing their best to defend DLSS 5 by saying, look, some of these developers are really excited about it. And then they mentioned Ubisoft because Ubisoft seems to be like the only place that is really celebrating this because now they get to be even fucking lazier, I guess. If you have Ubisoft singing the praises of something, the good rule of thumb is it must be bad. I can't believe we've reached the point where now people are like using Ubisoft as like a look, no, this is a good thing because Ubisoft says so. You are really scraping the bottom of the barrel if you're saying that Ubisoft pumping their fists means we all should be happy about it. There is no corporation more delusional in this universe than Ubisoft. Everything they touch turns to shit. It's the opposite of the Midas touch. It's just the mid-ass touch that they have. They literally can't do anything right. So I really don't think this is a strong champion here for why DLSS 5 is amazing in this breakthrough innovation that's going to usher gaming into the next golden age or anything. You have to remember, when Ubisoft smiles, the rest of the world frowns. It's just always bad news when it comes to Ubisoft. Anything they like is something that is probably shitty. So I don't think that they're necessarily a good gauge for how excited the rest of the industry is and we've just got to get with the times or anything. It is a feature that just doesn't seem very good. It's something people aren't really asking for. Gen AI to overwrite some of the look of the game. An AI filter for their game so they can see it through the lens of what AI thinks it should look like. That's not appealing to me, and it's clearly not appealing to a lot of people out there. I don't think it makes the games look better. It just makes them look like just generic AI slop. And now, based on all this information we have out there, it seems like the CEO of Nvidia has lied about what it actually is when he was saying everyone was wrong. Thanks to Daniel Owens doing a lot of like digging on this and pressing them with actual legitimate insightful questions, it really feels like it genuinely is just a Gen AI filter that you could slap on your games that I think make them look much less like games and much more like fucking mobile ads promoting like an AI girlfriend. It's, I think, terrible. So it will be perma off in all of my games. But I've got to be honest with you, I'm really excited to see what Jensen has cooked up next. I'm really excited for his next round of PR disasters here where he tries to once again defend it and mislead people on what it is or what it's doing. But anyway, that's the scoop on DLSS 5 for now. That's really about it. See ya.